Hey, hey. What's going on, everyone? Sorry I'm late. I was gonna Bam bailed. He messaged me a long time ago, shortly after we got offline, and he said he was fading. He probably wouldn't make it. So I got somebody else to come and somebody who's been wanting to come back on. He was a regular uh, guest host, and he would help whenever I couldn't get online on time when I was working and traveling. A lot of you guys remember that. And so he's been going through some stuff, and he was I think he's ready to start coming back online. So he'll be with us here shortly. In fact, let me send him a message because most of you know who I'm talking about. All right. So, looking through Facebook and the internet overall, and the talk is, I mean, I know it's a big thing. The talk is still going to be the submarine, and what the heck happened. And there he is. And not to overdo it with the conversation on that, but it is tragic, you know. I think what was it one story I read, and I don't know if it's the billionaire, but the wife of one of the surviving wife of one of those that passed away, that perished in that accident. I did, Abel. I did send it. I'll send it again. The wife of one of the billionaires or millionaires that perished is a descendant of someone who actually died on the Titanic. I wonder. I don't know. That's got to be a weird situation. I don't know. And I said it the other night. I'm like, you know what? People need to quit treating the Titanic site like it's an amusement park. People died there. People are still there. Granted, the remains or whatever, they're there, been underwater, and that's their final resting place. And I think that should be respected, not turned into a. I mean, James Cameron did it for the movie, research for the movie. I get it, but I don't think they should be hosting, you know, tourist, like treating it like a tourist attraction. And I think it's I don't know, maybe this will put a stop to it. Hey buddy, you ready? Everyone, please welcome Abel Vela.
Hey Manny,
How you doing? Been a
everybody
while.
watching? Yeah, it's been a while. How's my lag time now?
No, there is no lag.
All
I'll
right,
leave it on right
perfect,
now. Yeah.
great.
No, you're good. Yeah, Abel was on. He used to be on like all the time, and then when I was traveling with the airline, like I was always out or working at night. He would come and fill in till I was, out of work or when I was doing a special project. Remember the whole UFO thing in Colorado?
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, I was in Alamosa, uh, southern Colorado, and they have it's a UFO observation area, and my task was to go there at night, which was really freaking creepy. It was scary, and so I was driving and going there, and Abel was, he was at home and he's there, kind of setting it up and talking to the crowd. And I got there, and it was pitch black. I mean, there's no lights out there. It's way outside the city. And
That's
I
like
remember, huh?
that's like a Area 51 mock looking thing, you know?
Yeah, it was. In fact, the photos that I had on my page, on my, the big photo on my Facebook, my personal one.
Yep.
The one that I had there before, what I have down with the Cubs on there, it was like a long road with mountains in the background. That's where that's at. And I remember turning the car around, and all they had is the headlights of the car. If it wasn't for that, I couldn't see a damn thing. And I remember seeing one of those
Carousel?
carousel horses, just a head sticking up like from the ground, and it was so freaking creepy, man. That was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, because I remember, I mean, the location basically was pitch black. Like you said, all you could see was your headlights because you were holding your phone and recording, and the only thing you could see was whatever your headlights were pointing at. And I remember that carousel horse.
That was freaking creepy, man. That's still on the page. That was actually pretty funny. And then I got out. For some reason, I get out of the car toward the exit, and I don't know. I just kept thinking someone or something was going to come out of the darkness, and it was really weird. But it was one of those memorable moments. Yeah.
Super remote location too. I remember there was a street because I remember you sent me the location, and I was seeing it on Google Maps, and I was like, "All right, dude. So you're going out to the middle of nowhere. We need to know where you're at."
Yeah. Plus, my signal wasn't good because I was out in the middle of nowhere, and I know the signal was very poor. And anyway, that was one of the memorable things that I remember, having you there with me.
Exciting times.
Yeah, it was. And we'd have a lot of discussion. It's been a long time, man. I know last time you came on for a little while and your internet wasn't so good. And I had the same issue last night. It actually went out here for a while.
Yeah, man. Because remember, I mean, I was on all the time. And then, I started taking care more of my mom because she would call me at a certain time and be like, "Hey, something's wrong. So I have to bounce." And it just became more and more of where I had to be there, present. And then, again, she passed in March. And I'm moving forward, bro. I'm glad to be on again. It feels great. It's an honor. I mean, I've been following, of course, and I see a lot of new guests, a lot of new faces, a lot of new people interacting, and it's an amazing crowd. Every time I'm in the comments and I'm seeing everybody commenting, I mean, there's a lot to learn from them.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of new viewers from all over the country, and I welcome everyone. That I posted I don't know if you saw it, the breaking news I posted earlier about what happened to the submarine, and that's been shared almost 400 times already. Just in a few hours, it went from 0 to 200 like real quick. And the interaction, like I was telling someone earlier, I love that interaction. I love when you post things and people get into a discussion and
yeah,
right, popcorn.
Can't keep your hand off that popcorn bag.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Right? It's a thing. So yeah, and I haven't talked to you. I mean, there's been so many things that have happened in the last many months, and how do you feel about this submarine thing? It shouldn't have gone down. It should not have been allowed to go down.
For sure.
I don't know if he defied somebody's. Well, there was one guy that worked there. They fired him.
Oh, yeah.
He said it's not safe. It's only safe to about 12, 13, 1,400 meters. And because that little window in the front was too big and it was not strong enough. They needed to reduce it and rebuild the infrastructure around it. And they said, nope. Instead, we'll fire him.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, even cars have to get inspected before they hit the roadway once a year. So you would say, yeah, it's a private build or whatever. But it's like if I build a car right now and I try to get it on the street, I'll probably get pulled over, get fined, get it towed. And even though I could say, well, I'm only building it for private, I'm going to cruise around the beach with millionaires or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, there's no reason that a submarine wouldn't have to go through the same things, regardless if it's private or public. Um, but I guess there's no regulations to that. I'm guessing. Even if you take a boat out to the lake, though, you have to have some kind of registration or something.
It's gotta be registered. It's gotta be seaworthy, obviously. And I'm thinking it's gotta be registered and go through some kind of process because you're actually taking people, innocent people, tourists,
Right.
and you're calling this like a tourist attraction. And then, those rules are supposed to be even more stringent.
Yep.
Um, Good
I
evening,
mean,
everybody. Everywhere I see people from California, everyone there. If you want to drop a shout out where you're viewing from, that's awesome. Thank you all. Uh,
I just think also, I mean, let's just say, because they say the conditions that this, what is it called? It's not a submarine. What do they call it? A sub, something else, like a
yeah, I call it a
whatever.
micro sub, but yeah, I just call it a sub.
So the depths that it's going down to, a lot of submarines or no submarine has been down that far, I'm guessing. Um, but I'm sure they could have just sent something to be testing their GPS, at least at the minimum, how far they can keep track of stuff. Um, in this case, that wouldn't have made a difference, right? Because I mean, the whole damn thing collapsed.
Yeah,
Um,
and in
but
case for those who don't know what an implosion is opposite of an explosion. When you think of an explosion, you think of this. Well, implosion is backwards. It explodes inside.
yeah, basically, I mean, if you want to put it into perspective, it's like sticking a few roly polies in an aluminum can and stepping on it. That's kind of like what happened there.
Yeah, and I know
Like
if
they
you
don't know what hit
see,
them. None of that. From what I've been hearing, experts have been saying like the way that it could have happened, and that the layers that they have of the metal probably started crunching, and that's probably the last things that they started to hear before the thing just.
yeah, they might have passed out and died before the whole thing actually completely disintegrated.
I see.
I think that's what happened. Horrible, terrible way to go, man. It's it's sad that the owner, founder, whatever you want to call him, just to make his money and to get down there to say that he did it, I think he overlooked some safety issues that caused this to happen. And this is not just like an accident where people barely survived. No, this is like 5 people are dead, including him. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I think this is gonna, like I said, I'm thinking this is gonna happen again once we start. And I want to say SpaceX because they're one of the few companies that are actually planning on this. But once they start taking people and charging for, yeah, if you want to go to Mars, you want to go around the moon and come back or whatever it is, yeah, this is going to happen again. I don't think it's perfected yet. I mean, even the space shuttle, for as many times as that went up and down, they still had some catastrophic events. We lost the Challenger, and we lost a couple of them.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to see more of this, unfortunately, once we start sending people to space. And for as much as I like Elon Musk and SpaceX, I think we're going to see more of this.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't be aboard on the on one of the first voyages.
I don't think so either. And maybe they shouldn't have anybody aboard. Just send
Yeah.
just okay, like with aircraft. I happen to know about how uh, safety conscious they are with aircraft. Airplanes, right, a lot of the airplanes out there right now flying around that you hop in every day are 20 years old or older. A lot of the 737s out there are very old airplanes, but they're they're tested for metal fatigue constantly. And if there's some kind of accident where the wing hits a truck or another airplane, forget it. That airplane is grounded, and they have to check the wing. They have to check where the wing connects to the fuselage, to the body of the airplane. They have to make sure that is still the integrity of it. Integrity is still strong, and that happens a lot. They're checking the doors. They're checking the windows. They're measuring the thickness of the outer skin of the airplane. They're checking the rivets. They're checking how much space is between the rivets. And I mean, the United States, we are lucky we're here. And we are lucky that there are regulations, because these are some of the safest airplanes. And not just that, the technology, the radar. You've seen that software. It's FlightAware is the most popular one, but there's another one called Flight Radar 24. Thousands of airplanes in the sky all at the same time, but they're not crashing into each other.
Right.
Pretty much worldwide. I mean, it does happen. Accidents happen, but airplanes are thousands up in the sky. Even right now, if we take a look, there's thousands of airplanes up in the sky. Yet they're not crashing into each other. All this technology that's on the current newer airplanes, the air traffic controllers and radar and all kind of alarm systems. And I think we're very lucky. I mean, technology is such a cool thing. And I love flying. I used to be afraid of flying. You haven't been on an airplane yet, or have you yet?
No.
Still not yet.
So, yeah, I mean, I would go in an airplane before I go in a submarine. Let's say that. Because I know that it's safer than a submarine, for sure.
Yeah, in fact, they say it's safer to be up in the air on an airplane than it is
driving, right?
Driving a car on the expressway. Yeah.
Wow.
You're more likely to get into an accident on the ground than for something to happen up in the sky. And I know people get afraid of turbulence, but just think of it like a bumpy road. That's all. It's not gonna. Turbulence has not brought an airplane down ever. Just tighten your seatbelt, grab the armrest. Usually they pass in a few seconds, maybe a minute at the most. It depends where you go. If you're flying over mountains, like most of Colorado, when you're flying over, western Colorado, you get a lot of turbulence. That wind blowing up the mountain just keeps going up. And
I see. So there's a whole nother gust up there, like a stream.
Yeah. Another location for turbulence is above the Grand Canyon. If you're flying across the Grand Canyon, getting to get to LA, you're going to get turbulence here. I mean, it just never fails. It's going to happen. Sometimes it's real bad. Other times it's not so bad. But some of these incidents I've seen on the internet have been really bad. You're talking about the carts go flying up in the air, those heavy drink carts.
Wow.
Flying up in the air, people get hurt, and some of those. That is scary. That's why when you're sitting down, fasten your freaking seatbelt tightly and stay that way.
And turbulence is going to happen, and just let it play out.
Even when you were flying through a cloud, even if you don't get no turbulence the entire flight, going through clouds as you're climbing or descending, it's a little bumpy. It's just a bumpy road, but it's just a little bumpy. It's not anything major. And you just once you get out of it, then you're smooth sailing again. Unless you get a storm or something.
I mean, you've been in the air so many times. What do you think? You lost count, huh?
How many times?
Yeah.
Sometimes it was 2 or 3 times a week.
So it's safe to say hundreds of times you've been up in the air?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Would you ever skydive?
Nope. We just talked about this on the last live we did earlier.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about, the things that people say, well, it was his time to go. It's his, when it's your time to go, you have no control over it. I'm like, yeah, you do have control over it. Somebody who's going to jump out of airplanes and parachute a lot.
It's like I've watched too many Looney Tune episodes. You know, when the guy would jump off and open his parachute, and it was a bunch of dishes flying
Right.
out.
Yeah. No parachute. And so you're more likely to have an accident. Your chances are more if you're going to be jumping out of an airplane 2 or 3
I see,
times a
because
month.
that's one thing that usually, like I've researched like some insurance companies, and they won't insure you if you're like somebody who often does daredevil stuff like that, like jump off. And
Yeah.
that's what I was seeing, like for the submarine thing, that no insurance company would even think of touching that company with the 10-foot pole, is how they said it, because of the risk involved.
For the reason that happened this week. Yeah.
I mean, and imagine the common sense that anybody else has. You know, we're not damn Navy SEALs or ever even been in a submarine, but common sense tells you, like doesn't sound like the brightest idea. I don't see a backup plan. I don't. This thing is basically like I mean, so many people complain, oh, it's not FDA approved, the vaccine. I still haven't taken it. I don't even know if we can say that word on here no more.
Yeah. You can say whatever you want.
So a lot of people brought that up. It's not FDA approved. Now imagine that thing is not approved to be in there, bro. Like, it was not certified. It was just uh, somebody put it together. Like, they envisioned something, paid somebody
Yeah.
to put it together, and somebody said, "Yep, there you go, there you have it." And apparently, it imploded. What do you think? Like a quarter of the way before it even got down there.
It was pretty. They say it was 1,600 feet away from the bow of the Titanic.
Okay.
If you ask me, it was just at about the same level down. So it was a couple thousand feet down already. So, and then the report came out a little while ago that the Navy, they can hear all these sounds. They've got technology planted all over the place to
Yep.
protect us from attack. They heard an explosion.
Implosion.
Yeah, they heard the sound on that first day when they lost contact.
On Sunday,
So
it said.
was it Sunday or Monday? Yeah, in that
Well,
range.
it said, yeah, it said the Navy hears or whatever since Sunday. So I'm thinking, if they knew this since Sunday, I mean, was this just a whole act, for the
No,
remaining days?
no. What the thing is, the Navy heard it, but they figured, well, what is it? Like, what was that? You guys hear that? What
Like,
was
look
it?
the other way. There was nothing.
Kind of, and maybe they're looking for something else. And then I don't know how many days later they started sending a search party out. But I think it's one of those things. Oh, and then the other thing that people, they were hearing noises. Remember, they kept hearing like a
Yeah, the thing or whatever, every 30
ding or
minutes, and I
whatever,
don't know what.
right? And it was steady. And then the experts finally said these are normal sounds of the ocean or under the ocean or whatever. Nature. It's like I
Well,
I, I get it.
if you really think about it, man, there's nobody trained to rescue somebody at that depth, for one. So the risk is like complete. You have a better chance of just taking a rocket in outer space and being like, well, it's the same thing. Like
Pretty much.
Russian roulette.
And somebody just asked, would you go up in an air balloon? I will not do that either. Because you can, those, I don't know, what are they, 1,000 to a couple thousand feet up in the air? And if they come crashing down, you're not going to make it. Most people die, when those accidents do happen. I know they don't happen often, but I don't want to be there when it does happen.
What about a blimp?
If it can't
Sure.
glide, like even an airplane, if both engines die, he still can glide it down and land somewhere, even if it's a crash landing or landing in water. Look what happened to Sully in the movie. I think it was called Sully, wasn't it?
I
One
haven't seen
where
it.
the airplane took off, bird strike, took out both engines, and he landed in the Hudson River, New York.
Wow.
Tom Hanks, true story. He landed the airplane, the Hudson River, like it was a runway. The
Wow.
plane didn't disintegrate. And it stayed there floating. And they
Wow.
opened the doors. Everybody walked out to the wings, and all kind of sea craft came and rescued everybody. But nobody died. Nobody was injured. There might have been some injury, but he fucking landed the thing in water like.
Well, yeah, versus like a hot air balloon where there's no, if that balloon, if let's just say a woodpecker is flying up there and just starts pecking at it or something.
Yeah. Or a drone. Right now, you got drones all over the place.
Oh yeah,
What if a drone comes crashing into it, and you're coming down like a
on
brick
fire, bro.
and on fire? So you're either gonna have cement deceleration trauma from hitting the concrete, or you're gonna burn. And
I have this friend who took a ride out to like Central America, rode a helicopter into a volcano and bungee jumped into the volcano. That's crazy dumb.
see that's what I'm talking about. These people who are increasing their chances of dying, and because it's cool or whatever, or maybe he got money for it, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, and it don't make sense.
No. I mean, that one bad bungee cord and forget about it. But
Now, would you go like those cruise ships that go like travel across the world?
and the cruise ship probably. I mean,
Like
they're
deep
big.
sea?
Yeah, and I know stuff happens on there too, but I think you got a pretty decent chance of survival if the boat dies and it's just floating. Hopefully, there's enough life rafts or life vehicles to help, to accommodate everybody.
I don't think I'll be able to hack it. Like to be out in the middle of the water at night and seeing nothing around me, and
Oh yeah, that's
I would for sure get what's it called? Seasick for sure, for sure.
you won't get seasick in the water. I guarantee you, you will not get seasick in the water. You're more prone to get seasick from the boat looking at the water. But on the bigger the vessel, the less you feel it.
I see.
Unless it's a storm and the waves are real bad, I can see that.
I'd shed my pants, bro.
And if you're on a small boat, I mean that thing is you're going like this. So yeah, you could get seasick. Motion sickness even. Now, what about parasailing?
I've actually considered that one.
I might, because it's like a wing. You're gliding around, right? As long as the wing doesn't rip,
Get caught up on something, maybe.
get caught
'Cause
up on something. Yeah.
I'm guessing like if the line tears, you can at least like, parachute down. Maybe.
Yeah. I'd probably have a parachute on me anyway while I'm parasailing. And like I said, an airplane can glide. Both engines die. They turn off. They won't turn back on. Depending on how high in the air you are, how many thousands of feet you are, he can calculate how much glide time he's got. And he might even be able to glide to an airport somewhere.
Wow.
So and it's not just going to fall out of the sky unless the plane blows up or a wing explodes or gets separated, something like that. That's different. And those wings can bend. Have you ever seen a wing extremity test for an airplane wing?
No, man.
I think this was I think it was a Dreamliner. It was a 737 maybe. I know it's square, but this is the front of the plane. This is the back of the plane. And these are the wings like this, right?
Uh-huh.
They could bend like this much, bro.
What?
That's how much
On a
play is
plane?
on the wing. Yep.
Like on a working plane.
You go get on a plane tomorrow, a 737 and larger and that size, they're going to bend. They can bend this much.
Which is a great thing because it's not going to rip off the
Yeah, they have to
the
bend.
cabin.
And when you're flying, you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see the wing bending a little bit. And that's normal. It has to happen. Otherwise, it would snap off. So, yeah, I'm not afraid of airplanes anymore. Although I kept thinking, you know what? They say does the airplane crash every so many thousands or millions of flights? There's a crash. And every time I would go up, I'm like, I wonder if this is time.
This one's it.
Yeah, I know.
It's like hitting the lottery, huh? But the opposite feeling.
Yeah,
hey, but
exactly.
But I see more like more small planes that are involved in crashes, right? Like privately owned little planes or charter planes or whatever.
Yeah, private planes get it. They get involved in a lot of stuff. They for different reasons. Some of it mechanical. Lately, what's been happening is a lot of bird strikes. You know, when a bird hits an airplane engine or the windshield or something like that.
Wait, that's a real thing or what?
Yeah, that's a real thing. Bird strikes are real.
So a bird can hit a motor and the motor goes out, or what do you mean?
Oh, it'll shut down an engine on a 747. It'll shut it down, especially if it's a whole flock of birds. And now you're talking 8, 10, 12, 15 birds. And that'll cause a fire. It'll turn off the engine. And now you're getting into problems. Hopefully you got a good captain who can bring it down controlled.
Damn, bro. I didn't know that. They should put something on those like little cage or something, you know, like a little chicken fence in front of the engine or something.
I've thought about that too, but they can't. They can't restrict any kind of airflow into the engine. And that'll cause enough of a restriction of airflow where it'll cause the airplane to stall. And if it can't go forward, then it's going to drop straight down.
Damn.
And you don't want that.
So take the birds.
Scuba diving. I'll scuba dive only as deep as like if my tank runs out of oxygen and I can
you can just stand up.
Yeah, right. But if I can swim up in like 5 or 10 seconds, that's as deep as I'll go. That's it. Or just stay in shallow water, 5 or 6 feet. Just stand up.
You run out of oxygen and you just stand up.
I'm okay with that. You know, I'm allergic to sharks, so
yeah.
I'm okay with that. Helicopters. See, now that's something that fascinates me. Helicopters.
Have you been on one?
I have not been on one.
You know, at the carnival, they used to have the little one. Well, back then, I don't know if they still do. They used to have this little one that would take you around, like just point A to point B.
I've seen that.
I wouldn't even do that, bro. No way. No helicopter. I'd rather take a commercial flight somewhere. But not like a little helicopter owned by Bob or whatever.
Bob.
Even carnival rides, bro. They freaking...
Yeah, lately these carnival... What's happening is all these rides that were built 20 years ago are now getting fatigued, and they're supposed to maintain them every so often. I know it's a yearly inspection, but they really should check on them more often because you got people that ride these things. Metal's getting fatigued, parts are getting fatigued, and they're breaking down. And I haven't been on the roller coasters since I was a kid. I'm just not a fan of going upside down at 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm good just the way it is here. Life is enough of a roller coaster.
Yeah, amen to that. That's for sure. I got enough drama going on right on Earth. I would not bungee jump. Hell no. I keep seeing those accidents, man. I think it was a Chinese girl. She jumped off, but it turns out the bungee cord was not attached to the base.
Oh my god!
It was like something so simple. It's like, God, man. Or the cord snaps. Yeah. It's like, what the F, man? So, I mean, nothing is safe. And I know you can't. I'm not saying I'm going to walk around like with a helmet and elbow pads and all that stuff. But that's not how I mean that. I just think it's
Calculated risks, right? I mean, only if like, what would you do if it was necessary, or um, I don't know, man.
I
I'll go
mean,
on. I'll take a little I mean, a nice roller coaster ride, but I won't go on one of those, the Ring of Fire, that's been there since like 1962, and
I'll go
it's
on the
been.
kitty ride, the kitty one. Yeah, I do that. But I don't know. Being in a race car, I would like that. I would
Yeah.
do. Helicopter, I probably would do it. I'd like to experience that. It's fascinating. All the controls on a helicopter. You've got left and right on the controls, forward and backward, and then you got the pedals that rotate you to the left or rotate you to the right, and your left hand, depending on where you're sitting, in between the seats, is the one that brings you up and down.
Oh wow.
You got to be really coordinated to fly a helicopter.
Wow.
I think that's why that fascinates me so much. Zip line? I'd probably do a zip line. I'll do a zip line.
Would that depend on the height? Like, would you do a zip line across the Grand Canyon, or a zip line at 20 feet? I mean, like, how daredevilish would it be?
Like Grand Canyon, probably not, because you fall, you're dead. Period. It's over. You're not going to survive. It'd have to be one of those just around here on the island. There's a zip line, I think.
Yeah, I've seen one.
I don't think you're 20 or 30 feet above the ground at the most.
If you fall from there, you just end up with broken legs and
bruise or a broken leg, or broken ribs or whatever.
Handicap or something, but
something like that is manageable. Like skiing.
Yeah.
You see these guys freestyle skiing down a big ass mountain, and then they cause an avalanche and all that, and they're racing for their life because the
whole shit's coming behind them.
Yeah, the whole mountain's falling right behind them. And there was one video last week of a lady. There was a girl coming down. She's just, coming down, and I think it was a snowboard. She was snowboarding down. And she didn't realize there was a bear chasing her.
Whoa.
And she had no idea. Even when she stopped, the bear at some point quit chasing her. But she crashed, and she had no idea that the bear was chasing her.
Wow.
It's like, holy crap. And that's another thing. Animals, like a circus or whatever. Somebody said a zip line in Vegas. Yeah, see, I'd probably do that. I just need extra latches. Now, what about tightrope? You ever walk a tightrope? I've seen that between buildings, the old school.
Yeah.
High wire.
Like with a harness. Yeah. I mean, honestly, who am I kidding, bro? No, I won't even go to the roof of a 20-story building, So now, I would do it if it was like maybe at a house level or something,
If you go up to the Sears Tower and you're looking down, even that's scary. I mean, the thought that window might pop out and you're going to fall out the window. And now they've got this little platform. You got to pay extra, of course. They got this little glass platform. I'm sure it's thick glass, but you can step off the building and be looking down, and there's nothing.
Yeah, I probably would just die there.
But these, old school, acrobats. I don't know what you want to call them. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Evel Knievel.
I mean, he's a legend, so yeah.
Evel Knievel get on his motorcycle. It's red-white. It was a white jumpsuit with red and blue, stars and stripes or whatever. And he would jump over cars and buses and rivers, and he tried to jump over the Grand Canyon in a rocket-powered motorcycle. And they say that he's broken every bone in his body from doing all these things over the years. And they even made an action figure out of him, a little guy on a motorcycle. and you pull the cord, and I had one of them. So back then, like that, they had guys that would walk a high wire. Like in the circus, they do it, but there's a net. So if they fall into
And
the
they'll be
net.
holding like a little balancing thing.
Yeah, the pole, the balancing pole, and they're walking. But there was and I'm trying to remember what their name was. I want to say the Walendas. I could be wrong. I'll have to look it up later. But they would go across the street from building to building without any kind of safety
Wow.
at all.
Because imagine, bro, like a little wind gust can just.
Yeah. And that's what happened. The old man, the father or grandfather, he was there walking across, and I don't know what happened. He slipped, or a wind gust came, fell, and he fell straight down to the street. It's
Damn. But there's like a lot of people who feed on the adrenaline, and I'm not one of those people. Because they go the ones that jump off like free base jump. I forgot what they call it. They jump off of
oh yeah,
buildings or whatever.
base jumping, yeah.
So,
I don't know,
So-
but they got parachutes, or they got these little flying body suits, right? Kind of,
oh yeah,
they
also
can fly around, kind of like a flying
like
squirrel.
squirrels. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not much of an adrenaline guy like that. No. Like you said, race car. Okay, there's plenty of race cars out there. We've seen them flip over, catch on fire, and everybody runs out, and it's all good. But submarine, 13,000 feet under. I'll
There's
pass.
no chance. There's no chance for survival. If
Yeah,
something
there's-
goes bad, that's it. Now they were saying if he was stuck, they were going to send a robot with a long cable, and they were going to hook it to the front of this thing and then pull him, tow him up.
Yeah, and they said who knows how long it would take us to get that robot to this, out here
Yeah.
or whatever. So imagine just blindly going in there, bro. Like if I was, let's just say I am an adrenaline junkie and I say, okay, I have the money to go into the submarine and I'm willing to do it because I love the rush. I'm an explorer. But there's a few things I want to check off. What is the experience in rescuing these kind of things? How many times has it actually gone down there without exploding? How often has it been inspected and certified by somebody or whatever? What's the plan for one? I would say, dude, imagine having even a long ass rope with a float at the top to symbol where it's at. Easier to find.
Oh, kind
But-
of like what do you call that? Like on a fishing line, you put that.
Yeah,
Little,
like a bobbing thing.
yeah.
There's just so many things that might have made it a little more attractive, but like this, it's just like, what the heck are you thinking, man?
Well, that's why they make you sign that release saying, "Hey, if there's an accident, you can't sue us." I mean, I don't know what good it does when you're dead. They can't sue you anyway. But the family is, this is going to get ugly, and makes me wonder. I don't know.
Well, again, it's just people with billions of dollars, bro. So their perspective of life is way different. We see it like that, and we see it, like we value life. People like that, I don't want to say like this, they value money. It kind of makes it different, like they're like, well, I got nothing to lose, I'll do it. I'll be one of the first guys to win down there just to make a name for myself. Or there's certain levels of competition now. You already have the Lamborghini, you already have this shit, you already have everything.
Yeah,
So you have to be the first. It doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do it, bro. Like no.
I get it. And another aspect of it, they've got so much money that I think they feel invincible, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all right, ain't gonna happen to me. I got money. I can pay for a doctor or hospital bills or whatever. Ain't nothing gonna happen.
Medical bills.
Yeah, it's the coroner who's gonna pay my funeral.
Yeah.
They have no issues with none of that. I don't know, and I think to some extent, part of their thinking is, I don't know. To me, it's the bad sign when they say, sign the paper. It says you could die, but don't worry about it. Just sign it.
Yeah. It's all right.
That's when I'm like, I'll pass.
They sell it to them, bro.
$250,000 per person. Is that even worth it to go down there to see the Titanic?
You can just use your like a VR headset and see it there, and have whatever. Go inside your swimming pool and put on them fucking VR set. I would do that.
That's funny. That'd be pretty cool. Are those VR things? Can you put them underwater?
Yeah,
If
no.
not, they should. They should make them waterproof.
Yeah.
That is funny as hell.
Yeah.
Now that'd be
that
a
would,
realistic experience, right?
yeah, that's safe. You know what I'm saying? Like you might get snagged up on the filter or something, you get snug, but you just stand up and you're fine. That's something I would do, some adrenaline I would seek. But
yeah, that's the bad thing too. One of the millionaires, his son, teenage son, I think 18 or 19 years old.
uh-huh.
He went also. He didn't want to go. He did not want to go, but he gave in because it was his Father's Day wish for him to do this together.
Dang. Kid, bro. Because at that point, look, dude, so you're thinking like the billionaire, his mind is already set on, like his clock in his brain, it works different than ours. They're so optimistic. Everything is so positive that nothing could absolutely stand in their way of living the life that they want to live. And if they say, hey, there's a possibility that you're going to die, you're going to be like you said, like, whatever, man, shit.
Right?
I've been hearing that shit all my life. But that's for the trained mind of the entrepreneur or the billionaire, whatever. But the 19-year-old kid, he still has fear. He still doesn't understand life. He's probably never made a decision in his life because daddy does it for him.
Yeah.
So what could
I'm sure the father was like, don't worry, nothing's gonna happen. We'll be down there for a few hours and they'll pull us back up and
yeah, we'll go grab some dinner there somewhere and blah 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 and whatever. Take a few Instagram pictures and you'll be the flyest kid on TikTok.
Ugh, man.
So
250 grand, bro. I mean, he was one of them. So 4 other people, $1 million he made.
Yep.
I don't know. Is that excessive? The amount of money that they're charging? It's not like they're going to outer space or something. You're just going underwater to see the Titanic, and in 8 hours you're back up. $250,000 per person. Come on. I think that's, I don't know, too many. There's a lot of people who can do a lot of good with a lot of that money that they have.
Oh, for sure.
You know how much food 250 grand could buy to help out the homeless people or homeless veterans, or I don't know, man.
I mean, just alone the whole operations of the rescue, how much was spent on that? That they could have used for resources to other countries where, like I said, bro, a long time ago, 25,000 children died daily from starvation. Just starvation, not anything else. Just starvation. That's a shitload of kids, bro. 25,000 a day. And I mean, but that's not on the news.
No, it is certainly not.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. I don't know. Everything is the sub. I haven't gotten your take on the whole Bud Light situation. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Oh yeah. Well, I stopped drinking Bud Light a while back, but not because of that. I just dislike the taste. What thoughts of it? I mean, if Bud Light was my favorite beer, I would still drink it, bro. I wouldn't boycott it for. I think that's a stupid reason. It's not like they pushed out a whole line of only that. They just basically awarded the guy a can with his face on it or something, right?
Oh, you mean her face? You gotta be proper here, bro.
So that would happen?
what happened was they just decided for some reason to honor the guy because he was trying to be a woman for a year, and the marketing company that handles them decided without consulting with Anheuser-Busch, oh, let's do this for Dylan Mulvaney. We'll put his face on a couple of six packs and we'll send it to him, and all hell broke loose. I don't know about boycotting. I think that's excessive. But I think the hardcore beer drinkers, I mean, hardcore, I mean, you know, regular Joe, people like that.
Regular Joe. Natural light Joe.
Natural light Joe. They've got strong feelings about this kind of thing, and I think you know, Bam and I talk about this a lot. The gays from 40 years ago, even 30 years ago, they were just like, hey, yeah, I'm gay, but just let me live my life. Leave me alone. You know, I'll be over here. I'm at home. I ain't gonna bother you. You don't bother me. You know, we're all good. And that's the way it used to be. And now it seems that you have to acknowledge the pride. You have to acknowledge somebody's gay. You have to be okay with it. And
Yeah,
I think
that's crazy, bro.
I think that's where they went wrong. I think a lot of people are accepting of it and just let it be.
Well, I mean, I get that it's pretty fucked up because they can just award that to, like, let's just say me. I wake up every day and I try to be a man. You know, I mean, I am a man, right? But I try to be a man, like a manly man, or whatever you want to call it. And the main beer drinkers is a bunch of guys or whatever, right? So it's like, let's award manly men. Why don't they do that? Let's award a manly man. Let's put a manly man's face on this thing.
The construction worker, right?
Yeah. Like, why is it that, let's just say, for example, a woman's value and a man's value now have been almost degraded for pride? You know, now it's like, if you put a normal man next to a gay man, and not any gay man, one of those hardcore pride guys, you probably have to respect that person more than you would respect a man who busts his ass every day to get everything going. It's no longer equal. These people, I don't want to say these people, but these people are searching equality, but they want to drop the quality on the other two genders. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I get that. I think, and that's the problem that a lot of females are actually starting now to come around and go, wait a minute, having a trans woman is not the same thing as having a woman on my team. This ain't right. So along comes Leah Thomas, the swimmer issue that happened. And then there's the weightlifter that happened. I mean, that dude's breaking all kind of women's records, and he's a guy, and he's taken away. And you know, and you've got companies like, you know, they make the feminine products.
Yep.
And they're giving the men, trans women, contracts for all this stuff. And it's like, what about real women who use these every day? Actual women who have to, because of life the way it is, they've got to wear these once a month, you know, for a week at a time or whatever.
I mean, and 100%, you know, it's all, they search equality. Okay, let's be equal. All right, whatever. But when it comes to that point where, like I said, you can't, like, I respect women, bro, like, so much. I was birthed by a woman.
Yeah.
My mom raised me. That's a woman, you know, who busted their ass to raise us, who did the freaking, they would go on a submarine, dude, to go and get us down there if they knew we were down there. You know what I'm saying? They do it. And to just throw that out and say, well, let's give this person sponsorship and forget about, it's like freaking taking Aunt Jemima off the fucking bottle, bro. It's the same thing. You
Oh,
know, it's the same thing. Isn't that now? Let's cancel the real men and let's cancel the real women. And like somebody said here, like shove it down their throats. Little kids are having sex changes, so now the little boy goes in as a little girl next year, and everybody goes into the classroom, and now they're like, "Well, that's super cool. I want to do it too." Because it's the newest thing, and they don't even know what's going on, but they just want to do it because it's a trend.
exactly. And kids growing up, I don't know if I ever put on my mom's shoes or heels or whatever one time to walk around the room, but that doesn't mean that I wanted to be a female. It
Right.
just meant that kids were curious and boys play with dolls and the girls play with the trucks, and then over time everything works out and everybody goes their way that they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
Uh, this very sick practice of stopping, what do they call that? Your puberty
Oh,
blockers and all that. They want to give medication. Essentially, you're chemically castrating boys and even young girls, teenagers. They want to get mastectomies, have their breast removed because they identify. They think they identify as a male, as a boy, even though it could just be a phase that they're going through.
right, right.
And now it's happening where people are having these surgeries, and now a few years later they're like, "Fuck, I'm not
Yeah,
happy.
no shit.
This is not me."
It's because, like they say, everybody has, and even the manliest man should know this, bro. There's a manly side and a feminine side to both men and women. Some women can be manly in the way that they can freaking lift weights or whatever, right? They can overcome things that other women couldn't because another woman's a little more feminine, and there's this other way, vice versa for men. Some men can cook, some men feel more love, some men different shit. So being confused that way, where a kid could think like, man, why do I love so much, or why do I like butterflies, or some stupid shit, and then some other kid walks in that just got a sex change, and now the kids are like, oh, that's probably why I feel like that. Now I want to be like that too. And then
Yeah,
they grow up and they're like, what the fuck was I thinking? You know?
it's like what I'm supposed to. The girls who have their breast cut off, they get older and like something's missing in my life,
Mm-hmm.
or the boys who have no testicles now, and they went as far as having and now in the future they're like, something's wrong, something's missing from my life. What is it? It's like, duh, you chopped it off years ago when you were a kid. And the fact that governments want to back this up and say it's okay is that's a problem.
Yep. Wrong people in government. I mean, 100%. Yep. I mean, like I said, dude, equality is equality. Everybody wants to be equal, but don't fuck with everything else. Everything's already there. There's already a base for mankind and womankind. If somebody wants to be something else, that's fine. But you're living in a world where it's a male and a female. Um, Roam around in a dress if you want to, but don't push it on somebody else.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Yes, if you want to live as a, not to keep on with this debate, how many genders are there? That whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, the most recent, this video that's trending right now is the one where they want to put a Tampax or tampon machine in the boys' restroom
For diarrhea or what?
for the trans boys,
Wow.
and for the boys, males that identify as girls, they want to wear tampons. Now, the one video I saw was a professor. Men don't menstruate. Only females menstruate. She's like, well, what do you consider a woman? A woman has XX chromosomes. A man has XY chromosomes. That's it. Men don't menstruate. What trans women do? No, guess because they're women. They're not men. And oh my god, it was short video. They made good points. Men cannot get pregnant. You're pregnant because you're a woman, not because you're a man getting pregnant. You're pregnant because you're still a woman. You're still a female. And somebody made the comment, well, what about those women who can't have babies? Yeah, they can't because medically something is wrong, but they're still women. They were born women. They were born females. Male and female. That's all there is. How you identify, I don't care. If you want to dress like a man or dress like a woman and live your life that way, okay. I don't care. I really don't. But I don't want, like they say, I don't want that forced upon me. You know, the whole pronoun thing. And I don't want to get into that because that's a stupid conversation also.
So back to Bud Light. Yeah, they want to make up for it. Like you said, just throw a guy with a hard hat on there and start.
Right?
Just
put Joe Plumber on the stand, or the construction worker, or the police officer, or just a guy, regular guy, or regular people. Put a woman on there who's there you go. Rosie's a riveter.
A cowgirl or something.
Women that work, women that are working. Just put regular people on there. That's what regular people want to see.
To me, that's like handing a trophy over to them, and for what, like, it don't make sense, bro. They're honoring something doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's not ridiculous.
They should freaking go back there, bro, and just reconfigure it out and put like the founding fathers on there, or freaking something crazy like that, bro. But
the founding fathers,
you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, they might need to do something like that to try to recover, and I don't think they'll go down like out of business, but they need to do something. Regular people, the regular dudes, they want like an apology from them. Like, I don't think they're gonna apologize. And even Coors got into the whole thing now. Coors is I think this is different. Coors is sponsoring a parade or something happening this weekend.
Oh, wow.
In Colorado. But I don't see that as, I don't even care. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Some people are taking this way too far with the boycotting or whatever, or don't buy the product or drink something else, whatever. It's like, and the funny thing is, this company, the marketing company that did this to Anheuser-Busch, who has since been fired, they're getting an award. It's like a Grammy award. It's like the Oscars or the Emmy Award for advertising.
Wow.
I think that's hilarious. Given that it just cost, Anheuser-Busch, what, $40 billion or whatever market value. So I think that's funny. But these are issues that are going to get talked about over and over and over again, and they're not going to get old.
No,
boring. They get boring. They do get boring. I hate the same stupid conversations. The people with the blue or purple hair. No offense to anybody with blue or purple hair, but scientifically, biologically, you're either male or female, and that's it. How you identify, how you want to live your life as whatever, that's
on you.
Whole other issue, whole other issue.
Yeah, if you're raising a boy, raise him to be a boy, raise him to be a man, and if shit changes at the end, well, shit changes, but don't push it down, especially at public schools, bro. Public schools.
Just because your son might be gay, it doesn't mean that he wants to be a woman. It just means he might be gay. And let it be. As he gets older, life works out, then you'll know if he's gay. He's gay. Then it's just he's still your kid. But don't try to, they try to change kids too young when kids don't even know what the hell they're was on their minds.
Yep.
That's why I don't agree with this whole transvestite or trans story time or
Yeah, I don't understand why. Why does it have to be reading stories to? Can't they just read stories to each other? And not of any. It's not like a germaphobe kind of thing or gay phobia or none of that. But I just don't see why they would want to read stories to little kids, bro.
And it's not even it's not even about the story. It's about a man reading the book dressed up like a woman, and you're causing the kid to go, "Hey, how come that guy's dressed like a woman?"
Yeah.
And they want to have that conversation with little kids. It's like, no, don't. I'll have that conversation with my kid when I want to, not when you think so.
Right.
And I think that's where I don't know a lot of this is.
I mean, what sucks, bro, is that it's headed. Things are heading in one direction, and everybody sees it. Unfortunately, not everybody wants to speak on it because it might offend some people, and then the people who are driving it in that direction don't give a shit who they offend on the way up. They don't care if they go and they push it on your kids and pervert your kids. They don't give a crap who gets a sex change before they're even 18. They don't care whose mind they change.
Right.
And everybody like us that actually care or whatever, we don't oppose it. We don't stand up. We just say, well, we don't want to offend them because whatever. Because they act super offended as soon as you say something.
Yeah.
But if you say like, well, this is what you're doing wrong, they'll get super defensive, and they'll put you down for being against, which is
Right.
nothing. It's not. Again, you're searching for equality, so let's all be equal. I'm gonna do me as a man. My wife is gonna do her as a woman. You want to live your life and be whatever you are, do it over there, and don't come and try to push it on my family.
And, it used to be that, like I said, it used to be, hey, we're gay or we're different, just let us be.
Yeah.
And but now it's like, why do I have to be proud that you're gay?
Yeah. No.
Why do I have to share that pride with you? If you're happy, okay, you're happy. That's fine.
Cool.
Live your life. I got no beef with you.
Yep.
And I think these anti-gay things are sometimes exaggerated. That so much hate against gays and so much hate. They're like, show me all the hate. I know here in Brownsville, they painted the crosswalk.
Oh yeah.
With the rainbow colors downtown.
Yep.
Well, that lasted a few days, and somebody painted over it with white paint. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that they should have been painted the pride color only because there's a lot more pressing issues in the city. Repairs and other maintenance things that are not getting done. It's like take care of real important things that are top priority.
Yeah. I mean, honor the gays who go and do something extraordinary. Honor the gays who go and jump and save a kid off a boat or whatever, the same way that you would honor a man for his heroism or a woman. Honor everybody equally, period. Not just honor them for doing nothing. That's like honor me for just being on here and being a man. Like just honor me.
Why do we have to honor somebody just because they're gay?
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
If you're gay, and I got Bam is my friend. I love him.
Yeah, of course.
I grew up. I've said this story many times. I grew up in a gay neighborhood in Chicago. I got nothing against LGBTQ, but just live your life, man. Don't shove it in people's faces. I think that's where some people get put off.
Yep. I mean, even Bam has said it before. It's like he says it like, don't shove it on children. Just it is what it is. Like, he's against all the shit that they're pushing. From what I've understood from Bam. And
yeah. I did. I posted that story. The beginning of the story is guy gets set on fire as a hate crime because he's gay, and then you keep reading it and it says, but uh, surveillance video shows dude was beating up a woman, was
Oh shit.
harassing and beating up a woman, and in an effort to defend herself, something she did was to light him on fire, just with candy to her. So he's calling it a hate crime, but he left out the part where he was actually harassing and being physical with her. So,
Wow.
you can defend yourself however you're going to defend yourself, right? And she was pregnant too, and he was beating her up. So, yeah, that happened too. Anyway, I think I'm done for the night.
Cool.
Bit of a long day tomorrow. It's tomorrow, Friday. A lot going on tomorrow. What do you got going on tomorrow?
I don't know yet. A little bit of
How's
work.
your
little bit of
studio
fun.
coming along? Are you still working on in a room? You gonna be a regular on here or what?
Eventually, bro. It might take me maybe another month to get settled. I need to find my green screen. It's still packed somewhere. I got my microphone. I got the full setup,
Yeah.
So it would be nice though. Would be nice. There's a lot of things to express out there, and like I said, we can't keep our voices shut over so many topics that are out there. Because I mean, we gotta be proud of who we are too. And it's not all that. I don't want to sound super anti-gay, dude. I have gay family members, and they're cool. So many. I don't care, bro. Friends whatever. But it's just the situation that the country's headed, where they already did it. Like I told you with Aunt Jemima, they've done it with all this shit, and they're just continue to doing it. It's not them. It's a program that's being pushed.
It's funny how they did that. We talk about the whole Aunt Jemima thing and Uncle Ben's rice, right? So they took all those black faces off of all these products. But I thought they were against, their whole white privilege argument. So how come all these white people faces are still all over, Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Quaker Oats,
whatever, yeah, Quaker Oats, all that stuff. All the dollar bills have currency. It's got all white guys on it.
They took the damn Redskins off of NFL.
The one that really pissed me off was the Cleveland Indians.
Wow, bro.
Baseball team. It's like, come on.
I bet none of these guys were offended, bro. Like, no way.
No, the Native Americans were not offended. The Washington Redskins. Are you offended by the name Redskin? They're like, no.
That's their tribe, bro. Redskins.
People were called Redskins. Yeah. Like, it's all these freaking activists that are causing all these issues.
Well, deleting history, because now it's like, oh, there's no more, Indians, so we can't remember. The less you remember the Indians, the better for the country. That way you'll forget how cruel, all the cruelty they did to them.
Yeah, man, there's so much. There is a lot to talk about. We need to catch up on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It was a good intro.
This is just a drop in a bucket of all the other stuff going on in the news and politically speaking, all that too. So, yeah, we'll catch up, man. It was as often as you want to come on. You're that you're welcome
Cool,
whenever you want to come on. You already know that.
Appreciate that.
So, all right, I'm going to call it a night, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. And in case you forgot, that's Abel, Stable Abel, as we call him,
and that's Manny. In case you guys didn't know.
And you can follow Abel on his page as well. He puts a lot of motivational sayings or whatever, comments and stuff like that. So
let's go.
Probably be on tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. We'll let you know. We'll see what happens during the day, news-wise. Oh, I haven't even talked to you about the Vanessa situation and all that,
Right.
just to fill you in and what's been going on. I don't know if you've been watching. I'm not going to do it right now. Maybe tomorrow we'll come back and
All right.
catch up a little more. Talk a little bit about what's going on in Brownsville with the politics. We got a new mayor. The airport here, they got another flight now going to Vegas now, direct to Vegas.
Wow.
A lot of stuff going on. So, yeah, let's continue tomorrow. We'll see where the day takes us tomorrow. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for being here. And continue to comment and interact with each other in the comments that I put up. I love all the interaction. I love seeing all the interaction from getting everybody's opinions, and it's nice that people can talk civilly.
Definitely sparks up a lot of conversations, and it's great to hear input and like from everybody, because then we can all state opinions, and everybody in the chat is, like you said, interacting and stating their opinions, and it's cool, man. It's a community.
Yeah, pretty much. And I try not to block people unless you're an asshole. So that's why I try not to block. And so don't worry about that. All opinions are welcome. Just be chilled. Don't go crazy on each other. All right, Thursday night. Have a good Friday. It's the beginning of the weekend, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Everyone have a great night. Good night, everybody.